Hi, this is Meredith Lego, and I am doing an entire channel that focuses on the expansion of consciousness or the ascension of consciousness and the mechanics behind that. And as part of my journey, I've been working on increasing my own frequency over time. It's really been about, in the initial stages, it was just about expanding my energy frequency. Through that, I started to meditate. And that process helped to tune in or turn on some higher sensory perceptions that have allowed me through meditative processes essentially to connect with extra dimensional beings and into a lot of my own inner knowledge as well. And I'm sharing this content with you because it seems to be really good to help kind of expand the knowledge in the collective consciousness, because a lot of it's not coming through the day-to-day normal education process. So in this particular video, I'm going to be focusing on a message that had to do with just being mindful of your thoughts, because again, your thoughts can have an impact and shape your experience and your reality. If we go back to the very, very first videos that I did, and this in the beginning, it was channeled material by Ascended Master Hilarion. You know, he talked a lot about a holographic construct, and it's a construct that's really based upon quantum, subquantum particles. But essentially, we have the ability to have our environment sort of mirrored back to us based upon our thoughts and our emotions and our intentions. So that's a really key principle, because what it means is that you're never really a victim of your situation all the time. It really is dependent upon kind of what you're putting into the field, or the source field, or the quantum field, if you will. And, you know, oftentimes we kind of go through life, and like I slip all the time. So it's really hard to maintain high, frequency thoughts all the time with all the stuff that goes on in your world. And in this particular session, I was connecting with this collective consciousness group that I've been collecting with. Again, unfortunately, I don't have a name, but I think they're beyond names. So I'm not going to give them a name. I'm just calling them collective consciousness. They honed in on this concept because at the time, I had a lot going on in my mind, but I was also consumed by some stuff that was going on in the media, and I was getting absorbed into it, like some of us can. And it was they were simply reminding how important it is to stay focused on the outcomes that you want. So let me get into it, because it did get into some things that were going on at CERN at the time, as they were turning on their Hadron Collider in early July. So they start by saying states of matter are consumed by fuzziness of thought. Crystallize your thoughts. So this sentence was specific to me, as in your state of matter. So what you are emanating into the quantum field, your state of matter that you're seeing and experience, is essentially consumed by fuzziness of thought. It's not clear, so crystallize it. Open your heart space for the unified field of information to source through you. Do not allow your monkey or your mental monkey mind to control your formation of matter. Be mindful of the programming you feed through your prism or lens in the eye. So that's kind of interesting, and I'd never heard that particular topic come up. I've obviously heard be mindful of what you're programming into, your mind space, as you will, or your emotional space. But the idea is that essentially then becomes the prism through which you will reflect into your reality. So your programming, is being fed through your prism or the lens in your eye. Fill your thoughts and surround your energy field only with that which feeds your heart and soul with happiness and joy. This means extracting and ending divisive influences such as TV and social media, which, obviously, obviously I'm not totally off of. So there, I still do play around in social media just as a way to relax. But I think what they're saying, it's not doing you any good because you're essentially, falling, so, allowing it to control, what your reality ultimately can be. So that's something I have to work on. Then they essentially said, we pledge to support the evolution of humans for all space-time. The sanctity of our union or our resolve to unity consciousness is clear. But with that also must follow the law of one, which allows for free choice. So essentially here, they were saying like, we're really trying to help the evolution of humans during this time. And obviously I've been able to connect in that. And, I'm really trying to share as much as I can with everybody through this process. They're basically saying that they're trying as much as possible to support unity consciousness and, really to encourage thinking around the law of one. Now, I've never, I've heard of the law of one, and that's come up several times. And the first time that I actually did hear about it, I believe, was through a channel teacher. And it might be Raw, but I think he was channeling, yeah. I'm looking over at my bookshelf right now. I wasn't prepared to get into this, so I didn't have it prepared. But it was Carla Ruckert, I believe, is the individual who channeled the concept of the law of one. So, that's the first time that I had really heard about it. And, it's come up from these beings as well. As I understand it, and, I don't have all the principles of it memorized, but essentially, the concept is obviously that we're all one, that there's certain fundamental natural laws that are part of the universal construct. I'm probably butchering this concept, but the idea is, and I kind of stack it up to the golden rule, which is treat each other the way that you want to be treated, because how you kind of treat others in the world will be mirrored back to you, essentially. So it's kind of the law of cause and effect. Now, this is the idea of just be mindful of your thoughts. So at this particular time, I think it was early July of this year, CERN, as I mentioned before, was turning on their Hadron Collider again. And I wasn't really highly in favor of that because just by doing research, I was understanding the effects that it was having in other dimensional planes. So I asked, did CERN attempt to change the timelines? And the answer that I got wasn't, didn't give me obviously all the scoop that I was looking for, but they did say, focus only on that which you vision or want, not on that which you don't want. Form will follow energy. So all of our thoughts, all of our intentions, all of our emotions are simply energy. So the form will follow the energy. So if, in other words, if you're constantly thinking about, conspiracy stuff or something like that, guess what? It's gonna happen. It's gonna manifest. And that's why I really have to follow the advice of what I'm, receiving and pull myself out of TV, pull myself out of social media. So, because that's, obviously a huge source of where that stuff starts to emanate. So I get sucked in just like the next guy too. So, yeah, obviously focus only on that which you want. So I think there was one session in which I was channeling, and they said, look, if you want peace, be peace, or, something to that effect. Yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd share that because it was a really good, I guess you could say, a reminder to myself. And they were just kind of like slapping me in the face, if you will, like, clean up your thoughts, if you will. So another good reminder to consistently do that. So with that, I hope you have a really great rest of your day and your afternoon and your week, and we'll see you in some future videos. Thanks very much. Bye.